All right, for sale and for demo today is this really killer 1961 Gibson J-45 acoustic guitar. A lovely kind of cherry sunburst finish on this guy. Typical 61 appointments, so you still have the thinner pick guard. Around 64, I think, it switched to a thicker guard. Some people will argue that the thinner guard makes it more resonant. Adjustable bridge, but this one has a ceramic saddle, which is highly preferred. Really nice sustain on this guitar. Beautiful tone. Nice and sparkly. Classic Gibson sound. So it does have a little factory second stamp there on the top of the headstock. That's usually for like a cosmetic blemish for like a new guitar. It means absolutely nothing on a vintage guitar. Again, you're talking about like a smudge to the finish. Maybe the wood grain looked a little odd. You can't tell on this guitar why it was a factory second. It was not a faulty guitar. Just a little quick history lesson. There's like the straight up guitars, no factory second markings. Then there's a factory second, so typically had a cosmetic flaw. The ones you want to watch out for, the ones stamped bargain, BGN. That means it had some kind of problem. Or, as sometimes was the case, an employee might just stamp a guitar bargain so that they could buy it cheap, even though it didn't have anything wrong with it. Not totally on the up and up. But anyway, so this J45 has the typical appointments for the period. The neck profile is that slimmer, early 60s neck. It does feel different than what you typically find in the 50s. I actually like the neck. I like thicker necks on electrics, but I'm actually finding this enjoyable to play. So, be that as may, it's a 60s neck. Hasn't had a neck reset, but the neck angle is very, very good on this. Action is very good. I did have the frets leveled. There was quite a bit of wear in these areas, and all that's been taken care of. There's no like fret wear or anything like that at this point. But next time around, probably will need a refret. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't need one right now, thankfully. But these frets have probably gone through their life. The guitar has the typical Gibson pickguard crack on this bigger style pickguard. They had the teardrop pickguard in the 50s and 40s. They switched to this bigger style guard. I don't know if it kind of gave it a more distinctive look as opposed to Martin. But what ends up happening is these guards shrink and then will start pulling away at the edges. Happens on all vintage guitars. And you know, there's like the B string crack where the pickguard picks away at a Martin. Well, it's the same thing here. It's just below the E string. And so there's a split here and here, all been sealed up and addressed. Very, very, very common on these things. I'd say this guitar is in good condition. I mean, apart from that pickguard crack, which is very typical, there's no other cracks on it. You know, the back's in pretty good shape. There's some wear on the top here by the pickguard where it was played, and a little bit around the edges, but you know, nothing terrible. It's a lovely vintage Gibson guitar. Comes with a modern hardshell case that'll protect the guitar very well. Really, really lovely sounding example. I really like this guitar. If I didn't already have a lot of guitars, this would be one where I definitely said, hey, you know what? This is definitely a keeper. I just can't keep everything. Again, it's a 1961. Serial number is 19190, it looks like. 19190, original tuners. Yeah, it's a great guitar. You'll be very, very happy with it. If you're watching this video, you can click below to find a link to my website where you'll find the best place you can probably buy it. Buy it on my website down below. It's a secure checkout, and you won't be charged sales tax if you're outside of Washington State, because I'm not legally required to do that as a small seller. But be aware of all the tax laws in your state for what you might owe for the purchase. I'll probably be up for sale on Reverb and eBay and whatnot. Nothing will ship until January 1st because I'm kind of shut down here for vacation for the new year, but figured for fun, I'd play this guitar and demo it and share it with you. 1961 Gibson J45, great guitar.